Hello and welcome to another episode of Learning Excel through a live project. In our previous episode, we learned about how to protect our workbook with a password, and we also learned about how to protect the structure of the worksheet and the cell content. That is, allowing the user to do only the limited activities which we decide. Let us learn a little more. What if we decide that we are going to allow the users to edit only the selected range of cells and rest of the cells in the worksheet are locked? Let's jump directly into the course. To understand the concept of what we are talking about, I have created all those features in our expense tracker application and I will demonstrate how it is working. In the expense tracker, I made few of the columns as grayed out. That means that those cells cannot be edited by the users. For those cells which are having a white background, you will be able to edit it. For example, suppose if I am going to change this water bill payment to another one, school fee, yes, you can do it. I'm reverting it back. And if I want to change the notes, I can do it. If I want to change this particular amount, I can do it. But if I go to the month and year, if I click it, it won't allow you to edit. So how did we implement it? Okay. In addition to that, there is one more advanced feature. Let us see how we are doing it. In the expense head, what I did is I have implemented the same kind of feature in which the user will be able to only edit those cells which are having a white background, and the grayed background you will not be able to edit. That is logical also, right? So you will, these are all formula driven, and you should be able to only add new expense head or modify the frequency. Those are the only things you are supposed to do. But if you, there is one more feature in this worksheet comparing to the previous expense tracker worksheet. That is, if I am just going to change this, Excel will ask for a confirmation of password. It will ask you only for one time. If you're given once, and if it has identified that it is the authorized person who is going to edit it, from consequent edit, it won't ask you. So it will make it more secure. Let us see how we have implemented it step by step. Let us go step by step to learn how we are implementing the feature one by one. The first thing what we are going to learn is restricting the user to edit all the cells except the cells which we decide that they can edit. There are three steps involved in it. The first step is to lock the entire worksheet, and step two is select the cells which we are going to allow the user to edit, and third step is protect the worksheet. Let us go step by step. So, how to lock the worksheet? If you know, in Excel, if you are creating any new worksheet, actually all the cells are locked by default by the Excel. How we can see that? Let us go to the format cells menu. You can see that menu by expanding the caret symbol in the fonts section. And if you go to the protection, if you notice, it is marked as locked. But you need to know that the lock will not work until you protect the sheet. Now assume like it is locked here. And if I go to the review and if I protect the sheet, I simply say 1 as my password. And if you are able trying to edit this particular worksheet, you cannot edit any of the cells. Let me unprotect it and let me delete this sheet also. We don't need this sheet. Okay. Let me now go to the expense tracker. I have removed all the locking, unlocking, which you have seen in the demo. It is a plain worksheet. First, let us see whether this particular sheet is locked or not. I'm going to the home and I'm going to expand this menu to see the format cells menu. I'm going to the protection and I see that this worksheet is locked. But can I edit it? Yes, you can edit anything you want because this cell is not protected. Now, for our example, I am going to allow the serial number row to be edited by any user. So let me select the serial number row. Let me just expand the scope up to the end of the worksheet, but I'm not going to allow the heading SL to be edited by the user. And I'm going to expand the format cell. I'm going to the protection and I'm going to unlock it. I will click the locked checkbox so that it is unlocked. Now, if I go to the review again and protect the sheet, let me give a password, a one character password for our example. Now, what happens is if I'm trying to edit the date, I cannot edit the date, I cannot edit the year month. But if I'm changing the serial number, I can change the serial number. Let me revert it back. Can I change the SL, the header to some other thing? No, I cannot because that cell I have not enabled or that cell I have not unlocked. Hope you understood. Now let us implement for the whole thing. Let me just unprotect. Let me select. I want to allow the date to be edited. I want to allow the expense head to be. Let me just do that here one by one. I'm going to home and I'm going to the font protection and I'm unlocking it. Similarly, I'm going to unlock the expense head and the payment mode. Let me go down, go to the font protection, unlocked, and amount also I'm going to allow. So you may need to select up to which row you are going to allow. I'm selecting it only for our demonstration purpose. Already allowed. Now those columns which I'm not allowing to edit, let me change the background color to gray. I change to gray. This notes I'm going to allow to edit. I'm going for font protection. I'm going to unlock. Now, if I protect it again, now the user can do everything except the columns which are in gray. Now, let us see the next option. We have successfully implemented the restriction. That is, we are allowing only limited cells can be edited by the users. But now, anybody who can open this Excel sheet can edit it. But we don't want it this way. We want to restrict the Excel sheet so that only authorized person can edit this range of cells and remaining people cannot do that. How can we implement it? For that, let us take the expense head. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to restrict all the calculated fields like annual budget, monthly summary, everything is locked. But only a person called Mutraj Subayan can edit the expense code, expense head, the frequency, and the monthly budget. So let us see how we are going to do it. In a similar way, first let us see whether this sheet is locked. I am into the protection and I see that it is locked. I did it. Now, what I am going to do is I am going to go for the review and say allow edit ranges. I have something, let me delete it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for allow edit ranges. Now, in that, I can define which are all the range of cells which can be allowed and also define who are the people who can edit it. Now, first, let me select. I will call it as expense head just for our own understanding. And then let us select which are all the range of cells which we are going to allow. So I'm going to allow up to here. You can expand it. Let's expand it so that we'll understand it better. And let us give a range password. Let me give a range password. Okay, now it is okay. Done. I'm just giving a password. Let us go to the step by step. Okay. Now, can I edit it? You can. Why? Because we have not protected the sheet. Now let me protect the sheet also. Now can I edit it? Yes, I can edit it because I have given this range as allowed to edit. Now can I do the annual budget? I cannot do it. Now everything we are done. But our requirement is that we are going to allow only the restricted people. So how I'm going to do that? Let me unprotect the sheet and go to the allow edit range. Let's select this and go for the permission. Here you can add the people whom you want to allow to edit the cells. Let me select my name. I give my personal ID and say OK. I'm allowed here. I provided my access to my personal ID and say apply. So it also allows edit ranges without a password. I say deny. I'm going to and say OK and let me apply it. Now that I have defined my allow edit range definition, the next step what I need to do is I'm going to protect the worksheet. This is mandatory. Without that it won't work. Now I have protected the worksheet also. If I am editing now, if I'm trying to edit the annual budget, definitely it is not going to allow. And if I'm going to edit this expense code, it will ask you for the password. You have to enter the same password which you have defined when you are defining the allow edit range and providing the access detail. I have given a password, a single character password. I have given it, and now I can edit everything. So it will ask only once when you're opening this workbook, and rest of once you given the password, it remembers, and next of the cells you can edit it as you like. I hope today's episode was very useful for you. You can use all these things in your personal life as well as in your professional life because data privacy and data protection is one of the very important concept which we need to follow. So in tomorrow's episode, we will learn more about how we will analyze our data using graphs and other features. Let me request once again for your support by means of sharing this content among your friends and colleagues, liking these particular videos, as well as without fail subscribing to our channel. And please feel free to provide your comments, which will be answered by me personally. Thank you. Thanks again. Bye bye.